We have a couple of really awesome college football games this weekend. The biggest game, obviously, is number 2 LSU at number 3 Alabama. It's the two best quarterbacks in the nation. LSU's Joe Burrow and Alabama's Tua Tagovailoa. It's awesome. I hope this game will be incredible. I am really, really excited. I'm going to record it. I'm going to watch it twice because I'm a total nerd. I have high hopes for this game, but I do have a slight fear that Alabama could kind of walk away from this game, extending the lead at the end. And my fear is that Alabama is going to pull away late. If you look at LSU, they barely beat Auburn last week. LSU barely beat Auburn last week. Auburn has a freshman quarterback. LSU beat Auburn 23-20. I am concerned. I don't think that LSU's defense can stop Alabama. Not enough Tua is healthy. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for Alabama, had an ankle surgery a little while ago, 2 weeks ago. I saw a video of Tua throwing. He looks healthy. He looks fine. I really, really hope this game is a shootout. But I think if one team wins lopsided, it's Alabama. I hope that LSU can keep up. I think Alabama's going to score a lot of points. The question is whether or not Joe Burrow, the LSU quarterback, can shred that Alabama defense and make it happen. And it could be that something goes wrong and it's not even Joe Burrow's fault. Joe Burrow's a great quarterback at LSU, but maybe his receivers drop passes. Maybe his offensive line struggles to block. Maybe there's a play late where it's out of Joe Burrow's control and Alabama wins that play anyways, right? Maybe there's a drop pass, whatever. A ball gets tipped in the air. I think Alabama's going to win this game. And it makes me sad. Joe Burrow's my dude. I love Joe Burrow. His story is incredible. I've talked about him for ages. He really inspires me. Alabama's got the edge here. Although, hey, I'm rooting for the underdog LSU. I'll be honest, right? I root for good stories. Joe Burrow's an incredible story. I would love to see LSU. I know that they're ranked higher than Alabama. I would love to see LSU upset Alabama on this weekend. It'd be awesome. I don't know if that's going to happen. If they don't, it's because we've seen in the past, the question mark is their defense. But I really hope LSU beats Alabama this weekend. Hey, I honestly shouldn't say that. My hope is for a great game, and it'd be cool if at the end of that great, incredible matchup where it's close and intense battle all game, I'd rather LSU finish on top. But as long as we get a great matchup, that's what makes me happy. If we get a great matchup, it's close with 3 minutes left to go in the game, and Alabama wins, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad if Alabama blows out LSU either. I'll say, hey, I could have seen that coming. But I just hope for drama and chaos and a close, intense, emotional game. That's what I'm rooting for overall. And then it'd be cool to see LSU, and really because I like Joe Burrow, it'd be cool to see Joe Burrow finish on top at the end of that game. We also have number 4 Penn State at number 17 Minnesota. I really expect Penn State to win. But man, this is so awesome. It's two teams that are 8-0 in the Big Ten. And I want to say I grew up in, first of all, actually, I want to say Penn State has more depth and more talent than Minnesota. But I grew up in Minnesota. I grew up in Maple Grove, Minnesota. I lived there for a couple of years as a kid. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers have been awful for years. Awful, just not interesting at all. I lived in Maple Grove, Minnesota as a kid, 6791 Yucca Lane. I still remember that. My mom had a jingle to remember our address. And, now Minnesota has this new head coach, PJ Fleck. He's been there a couple of years now. He's got a new contract extension, actually. He's undefeated. He's really turned things around. He's doing phenomenal. And I love PJ Fleck. He doesn't apologize. He's completely himself. He owns that. He doesn't matter if you don't like him. If you don't like him, you can leave his program. So I'm really, really curious to see what happens in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Saturday. What kind of game will Minnesota have against Penn State? Minnesota's the dog, man. Penn State, number 4 in the country, they're expected to win this game. I expect them to win this game. And you look at the teams that Minnesota's beaten. Minnesota beat Rutgers and Illinois and Nebraska and Maryland. Penn State has far more impressive victories. Look at the last 3 games for Penn State. In the last 3 weeks, Penn State beat Iowa, they beat Michigan, and then they killed Michigan State. So Penn State is the favorite over Minnesota this weekend. But watch that game, pay attention. I hope it's close. It's a home game for Minnesota. 2 undefeated teams. I hope it's a lot of fun. I cannot wait to watch. There's another unbeaten team this weekend playing. It's Baylor. Baylor goes to, where is it? Where are they at? Fort Worth, Texas. I like Fort Worth, by the way. I think if I lived in Texas, I would live in Fort Worth. Baylor goes to Fort Worth, Texas to play TCU. Baylor's 8-0. TCU's 4-4. And Baylor fans want their team to get more respect. I keep getting messages from Baylor fans. Why aren't you talking about Baylor? Why? Well, okay, look, to me, I think Baylor's a really good team. They're 8-0. Had some respectable wins. Happy for them. They've won close games, but whatever. And if Baylor's legit, if Baylor's 8-0, a team that's capable of going to the college football playoff and winning a game there, if Baylor's legit, then this weekend, they're going to smack TCU. This is an opportunity for Baylor to make a statement on Saturday. It's a prove a game for Baylor. Are they a good team in Waco, Texas with Baylor? Or is Baylor a great college football team? Now, TCU might be 4-4, but they're not awful. TCU beat Texas by 10. Yeah, the same Texas team that was competitive with Oklahoma. I know that has less weight because Oklahoma lost. But, this Baylor, this undefeated Baylor team has a lot of really narrow victories. Baylor beat Iowa by 2. Baylor beat Iowa State by 2. Baylor beat Iowa State by 2. Baylor beat Texas Tech by 3. Heck, Baylor only beat Rice by 8 points. They beat Rice by a touchdown. Baylor did. This undefeated team I'm supposed to believe in. Would you ever see LSU only beat Rice by 8 points? Would you ever see Oregon only beat Rice by 8 points? Would you ever see Alabama only beat Rice by 8 points? Would you ever see anybody in the top? There's a reason Baylor's not well believed in, right? That's the reason. I think TCU could upset Baylor, and I don't even think it'd be that much of an upset. I think they're really on level playing fields. But Baylor, if they want respect, Baylor fans keep saying, why don't you talk about our team? Why this? Why that? Okay, fine. Baylor has an opportunity this weekend. How about you nail TCU? How about you win by 30 points? You beat TCU by 3 touchdowns? Okay, I'll start listening to you. I think it's possible TCU beats Baylor this weekend. And then people in Baylor have to acknowledge, look, your team's not bad. You have a very good football team. I'm happy for you. But all Baylor fans want to hear is, you have the best team in the nation. You're going to win the national championship. And that's because they're irrational, unreasonable sports fans, like most people in college football. I think Baylor's a really good team. They're not a great team, but I'm happy for them. They have a good program. They're 8-0. They might be 9-0 after this week. Won't really change my opinion on them unless Baylor goes into Fort Worth, Texas, and just beats the snot out of TCU. That'd be a statement to me. But it's also possible TCU beats Baylor, and we'd have to hear, Baylor fans could shut up forever. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. The final game I want to talk about is number 18, Iowa, heading to Camp Randall. I believe that's where it is, Camp Randall. And Camp Randall is the stadium, which is in, I know this, it's Madison, Wisconsin. My buddy Charles went to Madison, went to UW-Madison. It's number 18, Iowa, at number 13, Wisconsin. Both teams run pro-style offenses. They run the ball a lot. And don't discount Iowa. I really like Iowa. I love their head coach, Kirk Ferentz. He's got a great culture in Iowa. I think if I were ever to play college football and walk on somewhere, Iowa would be one of the options because I just love their program. He's a great dude. They win consistently. I do really like Iowa. Both Iowa and Wisconsin are 6-2, and Wisconsin is led by their running back, Jonathan Taylor. He's a Heisman candidate. And if he has a great day, if Jonathan Taylor has a great day for Wisconsin, then Iowa's in trouble. So watch that game. Iowa-Wisconsin should be fun. These are the 4 games, again, that I'm excited to watch this weekend and follow and track going into next week. LSU-Alabama, what happens? Will it be phenomenal? Can Joe Burrow and LSU pull off the upset and beat Alabama? Penn State-Minnesota. I just want to know how Minnesota shows up. Are they competitive? Maybe, I don't think they win, but man, if they lose by 3 points, that's a huge, really good emotional victory for Minnesota. I know no one gives out participation trophies, but the state of the program to go toe-to-toe with the number 4 team in the nation, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, the crappy, dog-awful Minnesota Golden Gophers, if they go toe-to-toe and have a narrow loss to the number 4 team in the nation, Penn State, that's a huge emotional victory for the state of Minnesota. You have TCU at Baylor. Can Baylor prove that they're a great college football team and not just a good college football team? I don't think so, but we'll find out And then you have Iowa at Wisconsin. Just a fun, hard-nosed, classic Big Ten football game. A lot of good stuff this weekend. I'm really excited, guys. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And I want to be very clear, open, and transparent. My YouTube channel is monetized. What that means is that some of my videos make money through ad revenue. Now, it's fewer than you think. A lot of my videos get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations from Patreon and PayPal. PayPal.me/Zach Schaumler. Patreon.com/Zach Schaumler. And so because I'm making ad revenue, it feels weird to just get donations. I wanted to give something back. I want to give people a reward for supporting me on Patreon. So now you can submit questions. If you give me $1 a month, you can submit questions to a pool of questions on Patreon. I look at all the questions on Patreon. I use my eyeballs. I make a joke about it. And I pick the top couple questions at the end of every single episode, and I read them and answer them on a segment called Ask Zach. Now, that's for people who have money. They want to support me. If you have no money to give, I totally understand. I've been a broke college kid myself. But if you believe in me and if you believe in my dream and you still want to help me, please help me grow by telling your friends about the show. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, maybe a screenshot it. You put it on your Instagram story. Help me grow by telling your friends about the show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Thank you so very much, and have a great day.